Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
They will be the ones who will guide you and all also, and kind of they'll assist you in the placement. So do they charge for it, or how's it like basically?
Usually they don't charge, but there are some of them that do charge. I don't suggest anybody to go through that because you don't need it. You really don't need it. There's so much demand in the market that you will get placed without paying for it.
Okay. So Ridhi, one more thing. So if so a lot of my students are in US as well, so who are pursuing US CPA and all, the Indian students, right? So they move to US and all. Now they are on a H4 on a dependent visa. So is it ideal for them to move to Canada and kind of get that visa and move back to US? Is there a possibility, or how do you read this entire case?
I don't know about US because, sorry about that noise. It's outside. Yeah. So I don't know about US because with Trump, nobody knows what's the visa status and how long if he gets re-elected or if he doesn't get re-elected. You don't know what's the situation there. But I can only speak
to Canada and then kind of. So I think if you have a Canadian citizenship, you are like allowed in US without a visa, right? So you have a.
No, it's not like that. I think you can, once you have citizenship, but that takes 3 years.
Okay.
You move to Canada on PR, and then you get citizenship only if you stay here in Canada for 3 full years. And after that, you have to give a citizenship exam, and then you get citizenship.
Important point. So what you're telling is, once I have a PR, I need to be in Canada for at least 3 to 4 years in order to get the citizenship.
Yeah, right? And then you have to give some citizenship exam as well. Yeah, so all that.
So there is an exam also. Is it really tough, or is it like it's manageable?
Not sure because I haven't given yet one. Sorry.
But there is an exam for sure, right?
Yeah, so there is an exam for it.
And that's how you will approach for the citizenship, and mostly get. So are there any of other? You should be in good standing or all those sort of things, or that are all.
I'm sure there is.
Okay. So I think so we get a rough idea of basically how I think we have got a rough idea basically how these people need to go to Canada and approach this, and what are the job opportunities and all. So how do you rate this actually? Which profiles is more in demand these days? Is it technology to do it? Because there's a lot of talks on blockchain, artificial intelligence, robotics, which is RPA, which is robotic process automations and all. Do our students also, apart from CPA, need to have these skill sets also, which is disrupting the finance function? Or is it really in demand in Canada? Or is it just a hype basically? So they're telling blockchain, AI.
No, that's really a demand, because I've seen people, there is a lot of change in cloud computing. Okay. Then there is blockchain. These are the trends which are there. And even when we are working, I do hear these words in my organization.
Okay.
It's not just a hype, it's there. Most of the organizations are struggling with blockchain because it's the new thing. That's how people are going to compute. And so if you have skills related to it, it's definitely a bonus. But I don't think it's necessary. It's like if you're not interested in it, currently the market is such that we have not yet so progressed to reach blockchain or that completely. So you do have openings which have nothing to do with them.
And robotic,
but if you have something like that,
RPA or artificial intelligence and all, it's not just about blockchain. So I think AI is also moving up very. I think the application of AI is more than what you see in blockchain. The applications are not much. There are not many user cases which are coming up in blockchain than what they are coming up in AI. So
yes, AI is the big thing right now.
So is it like, is there any certification course in Canada on SAP, or like I see a lot of SAP guys also being hired there? There's a huge demand for SAP, they say. But is this also just an hype, or is it just a misconception, or seriously there is a market for SAP and all? And
there's a market for IT. There's a market for IT. So my husband is from IT, so I can speak of that. Sorry, I can speak of that. And IT has a lot of demand. The IT would be the first, and then there would be like finance, where there is more demand.
I think now what we are seeing is more on technology come accountants, because they are the ones who are kind of designing the process. So it makes sense to do a CPA and then do some certification courses. So are there any institutes in Canada who are providing a certification course on blockchain or SAP or AI or all these latest certifications? Are there is there any website or is there any institute which is doing that in Canada?
Multiple universities that have courses on these, and I
Is
would
it
suggest rather than doing, sorry,
is it very
sorry,
expensive? Is it very expensive or not?
education is expensive here. So I
Okay.
would suggest if they're in India and they could get hold of anything which has a global this thing like a global course that they can lay their hands on, it will be way cheaper.
Okay. Okay.
You Canada is expensive, but then the courses here are also good. And if they're doing courses here, I would suggest doing it from big universities like University of Toronto or Ryerson University, some good universities, because these universities have credibility. If you're doing small courses as a top up to what your education stands for, then yeah. But again, like reiterating my point that it is not necessary to land a job. It is necessary only if you want to progress in that job. You will land a job here even if you're a graduate. That's for sure. Just need soft skills. That's it.
Okay, that's awesome, right? So, who all are the grads and I think the MBAs and all who have done masters from India? I think this is a very positive answer. What they would be listening to, because I
Yeah.
don't want to do that any of these things. But having said that, if they want to grow in their career, if they want to take it to the next level, this is
Yeah.
really important actually, and that also kind of makes them little faster in the way they get the jobs and all. But having
Yeah.
said that, as you are telling that Canada, you need to be really patient. There will be
Yes.
time that you need to wait for 6 to 9 months to get a job, so it's not so easy. But you
Yeah.
will get it at the end. You will get it, but it takes some time. It's not like
Yeah.
I've been to Canada and come on now in
Mentally prepared, because it's 9 months in a country without a job means a lot of expenses
correct.
in a different country, especially as expensive as Toronto. So be mentally prepared for it. It is depressing as well, because in winters it's like seasonal depression also strikes onto you. It's just everything is gloomy, everything is cold.
But I
So
understand that
a
there are
lot
a
of
lot of
things.
immigration agencies in India who guarantee that if you go to Canada in the first 1 or 2 months, you'll get a job and all, and they will provide you with the job. So,
I'm not
how is it?
sure.
It depends again how it is, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't trust them. I don't think there's one set process. Sorry, there's one set process that happens. That a lot of co-ops that happens here. So co-op is basically like how we have articleship in India, right? That while we are studying, we do some articleship to get a good experience. So there are universities here in Toronto. You can sign up for course here and can do a co-op with because
So
some courses you have to check.
how much would that be if I want to sign up a course with the University of Toronto? It's good that I'm having articleship, right? But see, in India, for an internship, we typically get what 3,000 INR, 4,000 INR. I'm pretty sure in Canada that would be like 20 multiple, right? So in 20 or
It's not
30.
about the money. So it's not about the money. It money would be enough for wouldn't maybe would be enough or would not be enough to sustain you, but
Okay.
it's better than nothing, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
because you know that 6 months is a struggle, might as well sign up for a course which provides you co-op opportunities, and you do co-op with big companies. They have tie-ups with all the big companies, including like various companies, be it Rogers or be it like all the good companies that are here, and you get that experience certificate, that Canadian experience. This is one term coined by recruiting agencies. You don't have Canadian experience. How do you expect somebody who is just landed in your country to have Canadian experience? But this is how they turn you off. They put you down. So this is where you can show them that, oh, I have co-op experience with this particular. It's not about money. It's about showing them that you have experience to land a good job.
So, are there any CPA firms also who hire their as an co-op? I mean, internship opportunity. Like in India, we have so many CA firms. So, if I have a US CPA there, if I'm there, there are a lot of CPA firms who would be doing accounting work and all sort of things. So, will they
You would
be?
get into junior accountants. There are lots of opportunities, but they are not like set co-ops. Co-ops are like guaranteed with and tie-ups with companies. So for example, company A does a tie-up with University A that for all your students who enroll for this course, we will every year take up 2 co-op students.
Okay. So, co-op is like articleship only, or how's it like?
Yes, it's articleship, but it's
So
like
it's
a
a
tie-up
pure
between.
articleship?
Sorry.
Is it a paid articleship or is
It
it?
is a paid articleship.
Okay, so
But it depends on the company, or most is paid. Some may not be paid. I cannot speak of each university.
but anyways, you're telling any given day that would be a handy experience to have to apply for a job, because you then proving that you have a Canadian work experience as well.
Yeah.
Any figure what you see in the co-ops typically monthly? How much do they get? No.
I don't know, because
Ridiculous question to ask. What I know that
sorry.
people,
Sorry, I may not be of that much help here.
asking for articleship, how much they get in Canada. I know in US CPA, in US, if they're doing an internship program or if they're there, so they get $3,000 or so, because they do it for a contract, they do it for 3 months, 4 months.
Like I said, it's not about the money, it's about experience. And also there are chances that if they like your work, if they like the way and attitude you work, and most of us who would be coming here would have at least 1 or 2 years of experience, or if you're Indian CAs, we have articleship experience.
Correct.
And we have good experience in accounting, more than what just graduate students here have, right? So we can prove it to our managers, the superiors working, and they can hire you full time. There are so many times that co-ops are converted into contract and then to permanent.
Okay. So they give a full-time offer as well. So
Yeah.
replacement kind of offer was the company give you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Ridhi, I think this was a very, very informative session. I think this is just awesome way of taking up the things, because not only from the mentorship what we have seen. So I think I have learned a lot of new things when I'm interacting with you now since last 45 minutes. There is a mentorship program, there is a luminary, there is Robert Half who helps you in the jobs. You need to be patient. There are a lot of the mistakes which you have shared, what you have done in your experience.
I've made lots of mistakes.
Patience is such an important factor, not only in Canada, I think everywhere. It is important that we be patient, so good things come to people who are very patient. I've seen that a lot of the youth which is really impatient, whenever they send a profile, they're like, come on, when is he calling me? All right. So these are some of the things I guess more best practices would be on the co-ops also, which you have spoken about, and how they can do it, how they can migrate it, how CPA USA or CPA Canada is very, very useful. If you have a CPA US, don't get panicked or all, because you have a lot of opportunities even if you're a US CPA. If you're a US CPA Canada, I think it's really good. And one more good thing what we have seen is there is a ICI chapter also in Toronto who kinds of
There
help.
is. Our president was just here. Our president was just here.
Okay.
Last month.
And I think this is a big tight slap to the people who think that Institute of Chartered Accountants of India don't do much in global way. I think this is a very, very good, strong message being sent out by our Institute of Chartered Accountants, that we have a Toronto chapter there and all. It is a little misfortune that they are not doing anything with the US as such. But I think Canada, they are doing really good if they have a chapter and if they're helping out the chartered accountants and all. So one more last question. How would you think that Indian chartered accountant, should he go for a US CPA or a US or a Canadian CPA if he wants to move to Canada?
So I suggest if they want to have, like, they're not sure where in North America they're moving, but they're still looking and open like I was to US and Canada, then US CPA is best. Because if you do US CPA and get licensed, you can directly get into CPA Canada. You don't need to give an exam.
Vice versa is very difficult. So if they have a Canadian CPA and then they need to apply for US CPA, it's really difficult.
I'm not sure how that works, so I cannot comment on that, but yeah, the other way works.
The other way around, they are finding it really difficult because all of them have an aim to move to Canada and then move to US. So that's how they typically do it. So I think going on a proper way through a US CPA and then having a Canadian CPA also is a good thing, so that they have an Indian CA having a Canadian CPA also is an ideal route for them if they're only is in Canada. But if they, so you're telling that if they have a US CPA, the options are open, the opportunities are more.
But
having said that, to get a job at the entry level and all, I don't think so either of any of the qualifications are required, whether it be chartered accountant, whether it be CPA, or whether it be MBA or whatever. If you're just a plain graduate, you just come there and get an entry level job. It's not so tough. You just
you should have technical skills of the graduate level plus good soft skills. That's it. good attitude,
And
you
I
get
think
you get
also what
placed.
you spoke about the disruption. I think it's good that if they get good certifications also apart from the accounting degree like SAP, or you have a blackline technology also,
There
which
is
is
one, sorry, there is one as QuickBooks. So
QuickBooks.
like we have Tally there in India, it's
Yeah.
really small level, but all the entry level jobs here in accounting, you if you have QuickBooks, it's good. You can have an online Coursera or a course from any of these websites for introduction to QuickBooks.
Okay.
Get a small course, and then you can say that you know QuickBooks, right? So
I think
most small firms do that.
Canada works on QuickBooks, and I think India works on Tally for
Yeah,
all the companies, right? So if I
yeah.
want to do an analogy like that, I think this was one of the terrific sessions, and actually this is my first interaction. So I thought I'd just take an initiative because so many of them, we as in Simandhar Education, as an institute, get so many queries and all, and I don't want them to give any wrong guidance because I'm here to just support them and assist them wherever I feel, and that's where we wanted that you come in because you're already there and you know each and everything. Because they shouldn't face the same problems what you might have undergone that. So I
Yeah.
think we're so happy that you have come and you've taken your time, and it's like so late night there in Canada, and
Yeah.
you've given the time. I'm 110% sure a lot of the students will love this because they have.
Yeah.
I think I have learned a lot, and I'm confident that they will also learn a lot from this session. And I think there are a lot of takeaways and always they will take up. So anything if they want to reach you, Ridhi, I
Yeah.
think you can definitely do that, right? I think you won't mind.
Lastly, it's my pleasure to be here, but I'm doing this purely because somebody else helped me, and I want to pay the way forward. So that's all about it. And people can get in touch with me on LinkedIn, and I'm more than happy to help.
Sure, sure, Ridhi. Okay, then thank you so much, Ridhi. It was great having you here. It's early morning in
Same
India
here.
and very late night in Canada. So we
Yes.
appreciate that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, no worries. Have a nice day. See ya.